Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Multicast. We're on episode 5, long awaited. My name is Purge. I'm here with Blitz and Hotbid, and we have a lot to talk about. Namely, we've missed a couple tournaments. We recently got back from, we're about a week and a half, 2 weeks since the Frankfurt Major. We had DreamHack, and Blitz, you were casting for the defense.
Yep.
You guys want to go over Frankfurt Major first? So
Yeah.
we were all there.
Timeline.
Yeah.
Hotbid, you were working it. It was your job.
Yeah.
How was that?
I'm coming down from it still, even
Really?
though it's been like because it was like I joined ESL, I worked ESL 1, I traveled around making those features, and then I went to the major, and then I came back, it was like Thanksgiving, and now we're at like the first full week of like actual stuff. Now I don't travel anymore, and I'm just like waiting for Christmas break because there's like nothing really. So
Something else
I
cool
feel,
to happen?
yeah, I'm waiting for cool stuff to happen soon. I'll visit the summit, I guess. That will be good. But we can. What do you want to talk about the major?
There's a lot of things to talk about. We could talk about the games. We could talk about the teams that won. We could talk about the upsets. Maybe all the game stuff is. Like, how did the event feel to you guys? I felt it reminded me a lot of TI2, personally. Maybe TI3, because there was like almost nobody there until the weekend. Like, actually, there was
Yeah.
nobody there.
I think the way the crowd and hype works is that you can have a format where it's like single elimination, quarterfinals all in one day, and then semis and finals all in one day in 2 days, like ESL One Frankfurt, and have a crazy crowd for both of those days. Or you can have a long, drawn-out format and no crowd. I don't think you can have both. And for all those people that are like, but TI has both. Like, one, that's their TI, and two, I don't think TI had a lot of people the first couple days either. It was like the stadium was like not super filled, so it's just difficult. I think you can't expect seeing people to turn out for an entire week. People have jobs; they're not slackers like us that live incredibly amazing lives that are able to like either work the event or just take out a whole 2 weeks to watch it.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people in Europe as well, since they have so many cool places that they can go to that are relatively close by, that they save all their time off for the weekends. So that was another reason. It's very rare that you could just, after the summer especially, just take off of work and go somewhere for a couple days. I don't remember who told me that. Maybe it's a load of shit.
And the major's so long. It's like it started on like a Monday or something, and it just went all the way until Saturday. It's like if you're attending that event, like you're going on Saturday, maybe Friday. You're not gonna be there the entire week unless you're extremely rich or you're like unemployed. And if you're unemployed, you don't have the money to travel. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't even know. But I thought the event was really good. I think it went relatively well. I even saw a thread that was like, "Good job. There weren't that many technical problems." So I
Yeah,
really like that.
I was slightly surprised about that, because the first couple days there's a decent, maybe not a lot, but there were some tech issues, some like button pressing issues for production. But I mean, it wasn't anything like super big. It was just amazing how quickly people forget all of those little issues when the overall event goes pretty well. And I think it did go overall very well. Like a low cooldown between matches, like pretty solid coverage, like great storylines, good teams, lots of amazing games. I think that as a whole was good.
What was it like watching the new mid star Miracle? Huh? Is he better than Sumail?
Blitz, you're gonna have to first of all confirm
Blitz.
that you're actually here.
I'm here. I'm thinking about that question. So
How would you rank your top 3 mids in the world?
I think number one, it's going to be controversial because it's hard.
Just say it, dude. Come on.
Yeah, from just like a pure mechanical skill, like what I think.
No. Just if you had to like pick who's the best, like hand out the top 3 mid rankings. Don't qualify by saying pure mechanical skill. Just like who's better than who.
I think Sumail / RTZ.
Uh-huh.
They're pretty interchangeable, right? Because they switch based on role.
Uh-huh.
And then I really like no one from Vega. I think that he almost never loses his lane.
He's good. Yeah.
I think the only time that Miracle was like losing his lane was actually against that guy. He was able to solo kill him and no tail when they because they also switch.
I feel like that team is like somehow has like CIS teams are like it's kryptonite or something. Like that team like cannot win against Russia. I don't even know why. Like I'm not a good enough analyst to understand why, but it seems like that's the case.
And then probably Miracle, but Miracle has probably the best potential to move up on that list. Probably better than no one in the long run.
Interesting.
I mean,
the team's good.
You know what Pycat said to me when he was
What?
like on the sideline when we were like between matches?
What?
He said that the longer you play mid, the worse you get at it. Because when you first come onto the scene as your 8K, your mid player, you have unlimited confidence. You've like never lost mid like in your life. You're literally just always like super convinced that you're gonna just outplay the other guy. And
can we actually okay, so I can verify that. I'm gonna look at the mid list of all the top teams right now, right? So number 1 is Secret, has Weehaw, very new to the scene. 2 has Big Daddy, No Tail for OG, also true. I guess the veterans are Fada, S4, and Resolution and Dendi, but almost all of the rest of the list are all new players. Like Sumail, 747, Ritsu, Yawar, like Weehaw, Big Daddy.
He says like as you play more and get more experience, you start doubting yourself more because you just lose mid more often. You're like, is this guy like, am I gonna lose it this time, or like you just like hesitate. Whereas he said it's even you could see it like Sumail has changed since before.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He's like not the crazy monster he was when he first came in and started wrecking people.
He makes mistakes and he overdives and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of disagree. I think that most of it, I agree with Pycat's point, because I remember when I first started playing mid, I just played with like reckless abandon, and in a lot of ways it was okay. Like the more solo queue I started to play, the more fearful I got of certain players. But I think that when I watch Sumail play and I look at like the mechanical skill aspect, I think that people are looking at things wrong, because he's still doing things pretty similarly. Like even when he played that one game of Storm, he played it almost identical to how he would used to play Storm.
I agree.
But the biggest difference that you're seeing is that people have just gotten so good at 5-manning and counter ganking and smokes and stuff that he has to play less of that YOLO style and more around his team, whereas before they could play around him.
My favorite game was the Miracle Invoker game. That was my most favorite game to watch in the major, because that was the game where they was that the game where they had like all their net worths were like super high, like every single one of them, like even their like 5th position was like pretty farmed by like the mid game because they just fought so much.
It was something like that. He played really amazing in that game. He made the hero look quite strong.
This is definitely
no hesitation, all his moves.
Yeah. He's a really nice guy too, like very polite. When I asked him about like nerves outside before they were in like their second elimination game or something, I was like, "Do you get nervous?" And he's like, "Nope." So I just try to play like I was playing at home, and he's like, "As soon as you get nervous, you lose focus." And he's like, "I just don't let myself like think about it too much."
I mean, you can tell he doesn't get nervous because
every
single it seems like he's just so decisive with everything he does. Like even in situations where he's disadvantaged, just like instantly makes a decision and goes for it.
I think that's the biggest difference between like the newer generation mids of like Weehaw, Miracle, and Sumail, is that all of their decision making is just, it's really quick, and it just almost feels like second nature because they've grinded so many games. Like you're not getting to 8K by like just talent alone. Like there's a talent aspect, but it's more the fact that Sumail in like 2 years plays more games than I've ever played in Dota 2 combined. Like that's insane, right? The amount that he just like dedicates to playing nonstop.
I think that's just like their all of that time is just like combined into their brain, like, and it's like second nature.
Yeah.
They just see a situation, they just like know exactly.
Yeah, because they've just put themselves in more situations than other players have, right? Like they've gone through a lot of people flame on pubbing and stuff, and now more and more people are starting to realize that it actually holds value because you're just figuring out things like from your past experience in pub games, right? Like you've seen everything in your pub games. You've pretty much tried everything. Like if you played 4,000 pub games in like 2 years, you're gonna pretty much see it all, right? Especially in solo queue. There are players that are gonna outperform you, and then you'll figure out why and stuff like that. And grinding definitely helps in that regard.
So my question for you guys is, after the major was over, Secret has been doing real bad, and OG has lost. They lost to Liquid, and they lost a few games here and there. Do you think that the results are indicative of who's good? Like, how would you rank the teams right now? It's like super open.
OG is definitely number one.
For sure. You're absolutely
They won DreamHack, and then they got second at.
Yeah.
They won the major. They won DreamHack, and then they got second at the defense. Like, that's not that much of a.
All right, I don't remember all the teams of the defense, but the DreamHack teams were not all that amazing. Like a lot of them were like.
How else are you gonna rank it then? A team just won the major like a month ago.
Yeah, you're right. Like all you can do is at that point just say opinion. I think they were very clearly the best team the last 2 days.
I think the only team you can say is better than them is Secret, and they've been doing real bad. So, like after the major, the only team you could argue is Secret because they won all those lands before, right?
What about like EG? They just haven't played.
They just haven't played.
Yeah. They also haven't won, right?
Yeah, but
you can't rank a team that is.
I don't know, man. They look so good in the upper bracket finals against Secret. I was like, oh, EG's clearly going to beat OG. They're going to go back to the grand finals, and then OG completely outplayed them.
Secret definitely threw in that first game when they were really far ahead. After that Roche fight, they almost should have like guaranteed won. The Timber game on Sumail, yeah, when they played against Secret, like I think Envy played like amazingly, but it should have never gotten to that point in the first place. Like, you could see that they made a lot of errors individually, which was the surprising part. Like when's
the last time Secret won a game where Envy was not Ember? It's like a while, right? Their record recently has been not great. What do you think the issue is there?
Post-LAN fatigue.
Yeah, that's probably some of it. After a big tournament, everybody's going to lose some motivation. That could definitely be it. Could be the same reason OG is maybe slumping a little bit.
It's too bad we don't get to see them at the summit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the summit though. Should be good.
I mean, I don't think OG's fallen off that much at all, if at all, and I think Secret is just when you look at how many tournaments they attended in a row, they've got to be tired by now. Like they probably just needed a break mentally just to regroup. It's a bunch of online games that probably don't mean anything long term to them. Like people that bet and stuff make a huge deal out of it. Yeah, sure, but
it's true.
So transitioning from that, I just want to ask you guys about the roster locks because I know less about it than you. But don't they lock in like an hour or something?
Yeah, they lock incredibly soon.
Yeah, there was an extra 24 hours. People are looking a lot, very very much into roster locks. Some of the pro players are complaining about it only being 7, but I don't think it's that weird personally. Like if you're locked into a position, like just make the decision, right? Like say like, okay, this is the 7 we're playing with, everybody sign up now. Problem solved. If you're like changing your mind about that, then I have a feeling like most of those teams that don't even have that organizational standpoint down are less likely to win the qualifier anyways. Or win the Open Qualifier.
Which of these teams do you find super interesting?
Probably Vegetable Esports Club. No, I think people are making.
You guys are listed on this list.
I know. I read that link and I was like, why the fuck are we on this list? Like everybody.
Because those are all the team rosters listed.
Okay, well, everybody is getting like for a lot of these players and teams, these are like actually serious pro player contenders. But then there's also teams like ours where we're like, hey, we would like to just casually play an Open Qualifier for fun. And people are making a big stink about it, which is cool.
You guys playing CS? Because you guys have a CS pro on your.
We do.
You guys have a CS pro on your roster.
He's less good at Dota than he is at CS, but we're hoping to win at least a couple games. It should be fun either way. I haven't played any competitive in a while, and by that I just mean like just any tournament.
He's so insane at CS though. When we play pub games with him,
yeah.
If only you could transfer that to Dota.
Just takes time.
Yeah.
I don't think he's played Dota nearly as much.
No, he hasn't. He's not bad though. He's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You guys made a Veggie Esports, which is very similar to Stake Gaming, so people think you're taking it seriously. And, who's on Stake Gaming as a sub?
It's not. It's not
Blitz.
about that.
Blitz is on State Gaming. So.
He is. And our sub is Freiburg and Honey, I guess.
Honey, yeah.
Are the Blitz equivalents. No, I think people just have fandom, and it's that simple. Like, they see people that they like, and they're like, oh, they're gonna play in a team, and they get excited about it. Same thing as Zephyr. People make a lot of threads because they get excited about it, and you can't really blame them for that. I'm just surprised that everybody thinks that we're taking it seriously, like we're.
Don't try and manage expectations, dude. You're taking it seriously. You guys.
I mean, let's be
serious. You guys are gonna qualify.
We are. Yeah, we're gonna qualify, and none of us will be able to cast at the next major, and we're just gonna have to live with that, I guess. And we'll go 0-16 once we get to the event.
There's no guarantee. Like, you don't know, like who they're gonna hire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know
idea.
if I'll make it, to be honest, but we'll see.
Like, I mean, we have no idea what Perfect World or whoever the organizer is how they're gonna handle the
Well, hopefully, if I do make it to the next major, hopefully the food situation is handled better the first couple days, because, man, let me just tell you about the casting scenario that I had to go through at the Frankfurt Major. So there was like a big platform, right? And there's like 3 casting stages. You guys already know this because you've been there. But there's like 3 stages. And the first day, everybody was very focused on making the production right. But it wasn't very much about like bringing us food. Like, a guy eventually would like start bringing us plates of food one by one. And then they realized that wasn't very efficient. And the other issue is that we were blocked in by the Russian casters. And they would always go super late.
Yeah.
On the desk, like literally so long as the game ended. They would go like 2 to 3 times longer than us because they had like 2 or 3 pros on the desk, so they had like shitloads to talk about. So like the first day, I basically like couldn't go to the bathroom when I wanted to. I was like trapped on the upper level, and like people would sometimes bring me food, but I didn't know when it was gonna come. And when I thought about it more, it was like exactly it was like the opposite of what you do to rehabilitate an animal that has been abused. And it made me so fucking stressed out. I have never been that stressed out in my whole life as when I was like sitting there, like after like 2 days of that, where I would like wake up, they would bring me food, or I'd eat breakfast, go to the event, cast a shitload. They'd bring me food sometimes. I'd sometimes go to the bathroom exactly when I wanted to, but most of the time I'd have to like wait for like 15-20 minutes, something like that. And then I'd go home, and like, you guys don't know how good you had it at the other hotel. Well, I mean, Will does, kind of, but like, you guys could like have midnight snack and like all this cool shit, but we were in a different hotel, right? So I'd go home and it'd be like 10 p.m. and there was no midnight snack, so I'd be like, I guess I'm going to sleep. So I'm just getting these like mediocre meals that are like kind of okay, but like not getting any desserts. I swear to God, I didn't have any sugar for like 2 days. There's like nothing in my diet that like made me feel special. And I was so stressed out.
This is like a first world problem.
This is like the most first worldy thing.
I'm not saying this to like complain in a way that saying like, oh, I had it so bad. I'm just like sharing my psychological human experience with you, that it like stressed the shit out of me. No, it blew my mind, like how stressed it made me. I was thinking about the stress and it wouldn't stop. Like I wouldn't be able to get the stress to end.
Well,
it was so intense.
I'm happy that it worked out for you though. Eventually, you got your food.
Yeah, eventually you guys solved a lot. I was like, hey Ken,
I brought you a lot of candy.
When I asked you for that candy bar, there was desperation in my body when I asked you. Like, you literally left and you immediately came back with candy bars. I was so goddamn happy. That was the best thing I'd eaten in so long, and literally like 3 days. It helped so much.
I had like an arm full of like, I think it was like Kit Kats or something.
No, you doubled morale.
Them on the ground.
You doubled morale by giving everybody a candy bar there.
And, like Kit Kats, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" I was like the savior.
No, I'm not even kidding. It like helps so much. Like my stress levels completely turned around after that day, and then you guys fixed all the meal problems as well. You'd bring carts and stuff. So after that, like everything was great. And then you guys relocated us when a lot of players went home, so that was good. And then I got a little angry, like when I was actually at midnight snack and I realized what I'd been missing for like a week. Man, the first 2 days I was just upset while I was eating, but it tasted so good. Fucking midnight snack, man.
Okay, well, midnight snack, we'll like that'll be a staple at any other major that we do. So.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can get everybody in the same hotel. I understand that they obviously didn't have space and stuff, but
yeah, the players' midnight snack is unfortunately valued higher than.
Yeah, you got to put all the players in the same hotel. That makes total sense because it'd be biased otherwise.
think there was like some conventions and shit going on. But like what I didn't notice like from not working production is just how seemingly random problems can occur. Like and it worked like this for New York too, where you would do the technical rehearsal and then everything would be exactly fine. Like it would be like we'd test everything and it would like all work, like in-game Dota audio, like levels, like everything would be in sync, like the picture and everything. And then like the instant you go live, it's like, oh shit, like something just like there's like dwarves or like gnomes in like the machines, and like all of a sudden it just breaks, you know? And you're just like, what the fuck? We just tested that like just 5 minutes ago and it was working, and now it's not working. And I have no idea why it's not working. And then everyone's scrambling to like fix issues, you know? And obviously that's not an excuse. Like we should be responsible for that, and to the community we are responsible for that. But it's just like I did not know that shit just happens, you know? But it did make me happy that Frankfurt went relatively smoothly.
Yeah, I think as a whole it went well. It was good. Once I got de-stressed, I was happy.
So, Blitz, do you have any other thoughts on the Shanghai rosters? Any other interesting ones? What do you think about DC getting 1437?
I mean, they very clearly needed a captain. I think Biryu might have been able to grow into the role eventually, but he's probably just way too inexperienced. And 1437 is probably one of the better like I'm looking at this NA list right now and looking at the like the captains available, and he might be one of the better ones, right? Like I don't see any. I mean, this is excluding, for example, PPD, but 1437 might be like a top 3 NA captain, and I think that's pretty huge for them. Like they needed somebody that they could trust to lead them. He's had a lot of experience.
What about team anti DC?
Who's team anti DC?
Mason Ritsu.
The team with Mason and Ritsu.
Shazam.
Why do they call it Shazam? They have the perfect opportunity to call it like Skype group replay leak or something. Just own it. Just own the like. Why even bother with the pretense of having another name? Just own it the whole way. Right?
I think that team actually looks really good on paper. I know people won't want to root for it because of obvious reasons, but I mean, Mason's a really good one. He's actually really talented. Ritsu is quite good, despite all the the baggage that he might bring, and Brax, MSS, and SVG are pretty good too.
Yeah, SVG I thought was pretty good from watching.
Yeah, he played really well with them overall.
Well, it'd be real funny if they became the second best team in North America.
It would be.
It's a legitimate shot. Yeah, it's a legitimate chance.
Yeah, that and I guess like Stake is probably the more interesting one for me, just because they have Cinderin's back to playing and Slickz is coming to Europe.
Yeah, you're a Slickz fanboy.
Yeah, I love the guy. I mean, he played with us.
Let's think Slickz is the second coming of. Trying to think of a really good midnight. I'm blanking right now, but I think he's really good. So I'm excited to watch him play.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who he is, we played with him on Zephyr for the last season that we were there. So we brought him from Australia to play with us, and it's a really good attitude. He's a very, very good player too. He's not negative in any way when people are doing poorly or anything like that. So
we'll give him time.
I don't know, man.
The way that he would talk, like even in frustrating situations, he never raises his voice.
Yeah.
He's very calm about the way he talks. Like he's measured with his words. Like he makes sure not to hurt feelings. I remember I played like a game really badly, and instead of like confronting me in front of everybody, he had me like, he's like, hey, do you want to go to the market with me? And he just like talked it over with me and asked me like, what was up? Why I thought I lost the lane and stuff. I'd never been like just like I'd never been talked
Australian?
to.
Does he have an Australian accent?
He does. It's super.
I'm excited, dude. Can we bring him in to replace Toby?
Yo, he's very very pro Australian scene. He did a bunch of weird shit too. They were talking about this LAN that they were playing in. He like went back to play some LAN in Australia, and they just like taunt the shit out of each other because it's all about Australian pride and shit. So just rubbed his nipples all the time. Just weird shit like that. There's some like battle cry. I don't know,
Dude,
man.
What
about
Yeah, he's great.
What about team? What is this team with Havost?
Oh, Empire?
Yeah.
I mean, Empire looks pretty decent, actually.
Yeah, I thought that roster looked pretty good.
Yeah, No Fear's the 8K MMR Undying picker, I think.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure who he was.
I fucking hated playing against him in pubs.
Is Liquid gonna be good now that if they enable Earth Spirit to the pool?
I mean, Jerax does not have to play Earth Spirit to be good. He's very clearly proved that he's got a wide hero pool, and he's very good at those heroes.
Dude,
Still,
his Earth Spirit is absurd.
Yeah,
like,
but
the
if-
way that he min maxes the hero.
But if he does, if he does get in the game, yeah, they're gonna have one of the best Earth Spirits right off the bat. Maybe that's why they joined.
Have the best Earth Spirit. I think it's him or that. There's like some Chinese guy that we used to always play against in solo queue. But let me just say that watching Jerax play Earth Spirit it's not Dota. Like
it's a transformative experience.
I don't know what fucking game, like he's playing when he just like 1v5s people and kicks rocks everywhere. But like that's not the Dota that I know.
I want it to happen just to see it, dude. It's
Just-
gotta happen before TI though, right? Like they gotta put him in before TI.
Alright, can I go on a mini rant here, Hotbid?
Sure.
The one thing that really irritates me about the hero, probably even more than like the overall toolkit of having like 80 different unique stuff, is
1800 rage stun. Or...
yeah, it's the stun, the silence, the escape, the initiation,
it does fuck with your hero quite a bit.
No, but the part that bothers me is when I read comments on Reddit and stuff that say that the hero is only overpowered because people don't understand how he works.
No,
Yeah,
I understand how he
that's-
works.
It's like the
I understand how he
stupidest thing I've ever read in my life. I
Yeah.
just like
That's-
when people,
He's not like Oracle. He's not as difficult to understand as Oracle.
Yeah, it's like
Oracle people just don't understand. Like they legitimately don't know what it does. Like your teammates, you can cast your shit on them.
everybody
and
knows
they're
what Earth
just
Spirit
like,
does. Everybody.
yeah, you just avoid the rocks. All right, like it's not super hard. He's gonna do shit like magic shit, and then you just get away from the rocks. Like he's like that's just what you do. Like
It's so insane. Like the hero is just actually crazy. It's like you accidentally kick a rock, you miss, and then you hit a guy blinking. And
Dude, that happened so many times when we played against him the other day. By the Sand King game that I uploaded, like Jerry was just standing on the outside of the fight, and the rock just happens to glance him, and he dies. I'm like, I
It's
use
so
my force and my
goddamn
glimmer to save him, and he just gets randomly hit.
Oh my god! Nobody. The funniest thing is when Funnick made that Reddit thread. I've never seen that guy make a Reddit thread. He figured out how to use Reddit just so he could say "fuck Earth."
That was the first time I've seen him like write or speak
Wait, what did he
English,
say?
pretty much.
He just said, "Valve, what the fuck's this hero?" Like, he just got really mad.
When
And
was
made a
that?
Reddit thread. I swear to God, he just made a Reddit thread because he got really frustrated for no
I can
other
imagine him
reason.
saying it in his accent, just super pissed.
Just like,
This hero has done 4,500 magic damage in one fight. How is this balanced?
I mean, it was the funny.
Killed
It was,
4 people.
that shit was hilarious. Reading that Reddit thread because I was just like, "Come on, guys."
Like as soon as he gets level 6, everyone needs to run. You just need to run away from him. Okay, who is Lebron Dota?
You don't know LeBron?
Sub for not a sincere. Who is that?
He's just some CIS guy that plays in FPL a lot. He's pretty funny, actually. Dude,
Um,
the funniest thing is when everybody was away for, like the majors and stuff, LeBron just played FPL all the time and got first by like default
Oh,
and
really?
won like the major prize. Yeah, it's so funny.
Do you remember when Navi gave their own manager the winner of the manager award and like 10K or something? Do you remember that? That was like a while ago.
It had a prize pool to it? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I remember the first comment was Chappie being like, "I lost." I remember that.
Man, I forgot.
LeBron, so it reminds me of LeBron Dota taking advantage of this situation.
I see what you mean.
LeBron Dota. That guy's so funny.
So, did you know IG.V? What the heck's IG.V? They have a sub named Alan. That's just his name. He's a Chinese guy named Alan.
In real life?
Oh, it's like
or-
it's their secondary squad. It's like their youth,
Their sub.
whatever.
One of their subs is named Alan.
Oh, okay.
And LGD has apparently, Yao and Xiao8 as their subs. So, how does subs work? Like, if you want to sub in Xiao8 for like the final, can you do that? You could, right?
I don't know.
It might just be... It's just for qualifiers, right?
No, I think you can do it during the tournament.
Yeah. It might be an
Um,
emergency thing, though. I don't know if you
No,
can just...
there's no way they
I think
let
if
you do
you-
it during, unless the person gets like sick or something.
No, I think you can do it with no reason. How are you gonna prove if they're sick? Oh, I'm sick. Like, what are you gonna do? A medical checkup like on site or something? Like, if they want to just sub out, they can. I'm sure.
I mean, I guess it's maybe the way of the future.
You can't enforce that. Like, oh, I hurt my hand. It's like I have the cramps. Like.
Yeah, you either let them do it whenever they want, or you force the organizations to make shit up.
Yeah, because like it makes for a really sick like situation though. Like if someone's not playing well or whatever, and then like they make it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're in loser bracket, like we have nothing to lose. Like Yao and Shoutout, like fucking go. Could you imagine them just coming out and playing like randomly Shoutout? He's just like.
Like, I got this one.
Like,
guys.
oh, they got last in groups, and then we get to play in first round and best of one, and then it's just like Shoutout drafting against you randomly. It's like, okay, that would be sick. They should do that. You should have like wrestler music. You should come out. It would be awesome.
You've seen this from the production point of it, I think. So you're thinking about the extra stream viewers and the Reddit posts and things, and the compliments at your job.
Amazing.
Okay.
I think it'd be good. I think they should do that. Some team should do it. Because
Maybe.
I mean like DC has Koikfa as their sub. Like
DC does.
You could just probably.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not. I think
Void Boys has Adobe Photoshop.
Okay, but the thing is, most people aren't gonna use their subs unless it's like, you know.
She has Sai, you know.
Yeah, but I think it's very unlikely at this next major, for example, people just take your suggestion and be like, "Well, we haven't played with this guy all year, all tournament."
I think a team that's most likely going to use their sub is State Gaming, though.
State.
Yeah, for sure.
No, not even close. I'm literally just there in case something horrible happens, and even then.
I mean, horrible things have happened to Cinderin before, so.
Give any examples?
I can't think of any, but okay. You know, if someone goes to Blitz, you could pay off someone to like break his knees or something.
Are you fucking kidding me? I want that guy to play. Like, I defaulted to #1 caster. Like, are you kidding me? I'm the number one fan of. Yeah, I'm the #1 fan of Synd. Like, Synd, pursue your dreams. Like, when he told me, he's like, "What do you think about me?" He's like, "What do you think about me playing competitively?" I'm like, "You should fucking do it." Like, definitely think you're good enough.
Slot, baby. I moved up.
I was like, "You're 7K? Hell yeah!" Like,
I'll be the sub on your team, man. Go for it.
I will do anything to make your competitive dreams come true, Synd.
Now you're backing him up again, though.
Yeah, YOLO.
You're right behind him. You know.
I can really respect though that he has a pretty decent. You know, he's top of his field, but he wants to play competitively. Can't stop the man.
I mean, everybody does, don't they? Isn't that that's the #1 goal? Playing is always more fun than casting, pretty much.
Not for me. I doubt I would ever play again.
I mean,
yeah, but if you had the opportunity and you felt that you were confident in your skills, you would still do it. You'd rather do it, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious. I have like no. I want to hit 8K and that's it. Like that's the only.
I don't believe you. I just simply do not believe you. Purge, do you believe him?
No. You're saying that you wouldn't want to be on, let's say, a top 5 team in the world, and maybe win at least one tournament. Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. There's a lot of people that are never gonna.
You want to do it, right?
That's
you're better than some of these guys. Like, look at this. You're better than. Okay, maybe you're not better than any of these guys, but you can do it. I was going down the list. I mean, like, you're better than Iceberg.
Iceberg's legit, dude.
Okay, you're better than Monkeys Forever. Aren't you? Are you better than Monkeys Forever?
I don't know, dude. Who cares?
I don't actually know. I'm not gonna flame anyone, so I don't actually know who's good.
Too late.
I'm just looking at all these. Did I flame Monkeys Forever?
It's I don't know. Who knows?
What about are you better than Moo?
Moo's like 7.9K or something.
Just kidding. Right? That guy's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's really good right now. Dota's hard, man. But I think the thing is, most people would rather just play if they could be competitive at the upper level and actually make a decent living from it. Anybody would rather do that, and you can see it as well just by like Twitter followers and stuff. Like who has more fame. Obviously, they get flamed a lot more, I would say, but and their careers are a lot more fickle because they have to always consistently perform. Not that we do, but don't. But obviously, there's more direct competition. Like you could just lose one day because someone was slightly better than you, and that would be really tough. But I think everybody sees playing as the thing that they'd rather do.
Before we move on from talking about events, can I just give a shout out to ODPixel for having the best single casting moment of the major? It is when he was casting Mineski, and they were winning by quite a bit against I think it was, I forget which team. It might have been was it OG? And then Miracle got a double kill with his Shadow.
His
Paint.
SF, yeah.
And then I think their mid player went in with Quap and just fed, and OD said 3 cuckoo. He was like 3 cuckoo. I laughed so hard. I was like, that is brilliant. He was saving that.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
Like
I missed
322.
it. Oh,
like
okay.
322.
And their mid player was named Cuckoo, and he said 3 cuckoo when the guy fed.
That's
it was so good.
I think he plans a lot of stuff in advance, I believe.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He does. But it was the perfect situation for it. Like they basically killed like 4 people on Mineski, and then the Quap blinks in and just dies after that. Oh, it was so good. Okay, that's the end of the story. I don't have any other thing to transition to. So,
guys excited to go to China? Maybe. Well, Blitz definitely is now. He's number 1.
I mean, like I'm not going to China, so
we did it, fam.
You guys.
We worked real hard for this. Go Synderin. Really hope he qualifies.
Thank you, Syndrin. Give me a slightly better chance.
Yeah, really hope Synderin qualifies, guys.
I mean, you guys have 2 avenues of getting it. You can cast or you could qualify. I mean,
yeah,
that's
that's
Esports, right?
No. Open Qualifier gets you into the regional qualifiers. Are you fucking kidding me? You think we're gonna win the regional qualifier or get top 2 in the regional qualifier?
You don't have to win. You only have to get top 2.
I will put a bet right now for free that if a team featuring Milk gets like even to the top round of 64, like I will buy you guys all a meal. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, I'll give you $1 million if you qualify for the Shanghai.
At least you guys play in a very easy region.
I'll essentially just buy you guys all a really nice meal if you guys actually get to like the round of 64.
You guys play in the easiest region though, right?
They're playing.
Arguable.
They're playing in Europe.
No.
He's fucking with you. That's like the hardest by far. Europe's just a bunch.
We're playing NA, I thought.
I think you guys are playing Europe.
You guys are registered in Europe, dude.
Yeah, you guys are registered in Europe.
Is that for reals?
Yeah, you guys are.
How we're
like, I don't
about,
want this shit anymore.
I'm pretty sure we were talking about playing in the NA, but
well, Jacob registered.
How are you gonna play in NA? They live in Europe though. Capitalist, Milk, and
No, but we have Merlini, myself,
you guys
and
have
Mona,
3.
which
they
I
have 3
assume
NA.
is NA.
Yeah.
So how are you guys gonna play in NA if they're in Europe though?
That's fine. Just delay, I guess. I don't think that's that big of an issue.
So you got the ping problems on top of the skill problems.
I'm gonna have to confirm that he's scheduled, or might have just been the Reddit person.
I like how serious this is now. Like we gotta make sure that we're not in Europe. Guys.
Nothing is more important right now.
He can't even wait. He's checking. He's literally typing. I can hear him typing.
I did.
He's like, are we registered for Europe?
I typed some things. All right, I don't remember what the URL is, so I'm gonna do this later.
We lost, dude.
That was the only thing holding us back from making it, and now we're gonna not make it. So
I don't think you guys can even qualify for NA. You have to have 3 NA people.
I literally just told you. I'm pretty sure he's NA.
I don't know.
Either way, we have four residents originally of North America. Not that that counts, but
they have to be when the person is living there, right?
I would assume
Monib
so,
is
yeah.
Canadian, so you're good.
Exactly. Told you, man. Milk fucked up. That's what this is about.
Okay.
Won't be the last time before the Open Qualifiers is over.
Alright.
So, other than Shanghai, we've got ESL 1 Manila was recently announced. It's the tournament in the Philippines. Finally, we get a major tournament in Southeast Asia. I thought that was pretty cool.
I can't wait.
Why?
I can't wait to see what the pros think when they start pubbing on that server.
On C?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you my story with Illidan?
Yeah. It'll be an experience.
I told Illidan, I saw him queuing because I knew he was at, what was that event called? Nanyang.
Yeah.
I knew he was queuing, and I said, you motherfucker. I was like, don't queue on C. And he's like, it'll be fine. He's like, it's like 1 game. And I was like, you're going to lose your MMR, and you're going to complain to me like 30 seconds later. And he's like, it's going to be completely okay. And then he plays a game, and I'm just waiting. Like I'm not doing anything else. It's like 45 minutes later,
You're just sitting there like,
he loses his shit. Like he is flaming up and down. He's like, what the fuck are these guys doing? He's like, 3 of my players were arguing about who's going mid, even though I was 2.2k MMR higher than everybody. And then eventually, one guy feeds a courier, and to show that the other guy didn't care, he feeds another courier. And then they just like, to show who cared less, would just feed courier. And he was just like losing his fucking mind.
Yeah,
I mean,
people are really angry.
you had that kind of experience, like.
Oh yeah, I actually did play C for quite a long time because I favored the ping versus versus the rage, less rage. But I think eventually I started playing US West exclusively, and now I only play US East when I'm solo queuing.
Yeah, I mean, C is something.
wait, why do you only play US East?
I don't know if I still feel the same way, but some consensus is that there's higher MMR on EU, whether inflated or just more players. I think there are more players in EU, so you're more likely to get a better game if you aren't playing East, because that's EU players will play there as well. Whereas if you play West, you're pretty much getting maybe Chinese people or C people that are trying to get away from the Singapore servers or something like that, or from their Chinese servers. So
That's a good point. Maybe I
Yeah.
should play US East. That's what's holding me back right now.
yeah, I think definitely not last hitting.
Not last hitting, not game sense, nothing like that.
No.
You want to know what I think was the difference was when I played, and I probably played the most solo queue out of everyone here, is on West, the MMRs were a lot more unbalanced for me. Like, I would almost always get me 7k with a bunch of 4ks against 5ks,
Mhm.
and then on East, I would get much more balanced games, like overall, MMR-wise. Like, I would get 5k teammates against like 6k players. It was like slightly better.
I gotta say, it is not fun to solo queue after not playing for like 2 months.
Yeah, I
Back
just
and
usually
it's like,
party.
I am so bad. I'm like, actually, I have no idea how to play this game, even though I watched so much of it.
Yeah, usually takes me like 2 or 3 games to get the mechanics down, and then I feel like I'm actually better than I was personally, just because I watched so many games. But I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, I'm in the trench, so the what's it called? The games are nothing like pro games.
yeah, that'd be really frustrating. Actually, I was really mad the first like 2 days that I played. Like every game I played, I was so irritated because everybody was so bad, and I'd been watching only top tier players playing the game. I was so
Yeah,
frustrated.
and you're like, you check your safe lane, and the guy has treads at 16 minutes. That's like all he has. It's like, oh, okay.
It's more like
We're
seeing
here.
people react to something that I knew what the obvious solution was. Like, why aren't they pulling? Or like, oh, we have a tri lane versus an aggressive dual lane. Why aren't we just continuously killing the aggressive dual lane? That makes way more sense than him roaming around the map, you know? Like, you see those solutions, and nobody does them. And you communicate them to people, and they don't listen to you. And then you're like, okay, fuck this. Why am I not? Like, I wish I was playing with, like, 4 pros right now. Stuff like that.
I saw that guy who posted that he won 30 games in a row with Lich.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should just do that. And then I thought, how is that even remotely fun?
You know, I
Yeah.
watched some of
You've
those
been playing-
games.
How did they
Which-
go? I never watched the replays, but I looked at the
He
total.
was like the most annoying player to
Really?
play. He just like would camp behind people and like frost
Wait,
them
why
like
did you,
crazy.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So he played Rich correctly. He wasn't
Yeah.
actually annoying. He was just...
Because
Just like-
you know what I realized, Hotbid? It's like the number one complaint I always read on Reddit, and it always gets like so many upvotes when people throw this meme out. They're like, I'm a 4K player and I play support and I'm stuck on this bracket because I'm forced to play support. They're like, my carries don't farm or anything. So I wanted to see like what this guy was doing differently versus those people. And I actually contacted like one of those guys, you know, that kept saying shit like that, you know?
Mhm.
Just be like, oh, all my games are like this and this because of this. And I was just like, okay, I'll watch like one replay with you. Like just, you know, because I want to see how wrong you are. So we hop into like one of his solo queue games that he complains about. I like watch it like from start to finish, and I just realized like how inefficient he is. Like his carry sucks, make no mistake about it, but he buys like 4 wards in the beginning of the game and like ups courier and then is like useless.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to like walk around.
Well,
He
let me just
feeds-
say, I have experience in doing that because I played with Purge. I think when I just came back from not playing for a while, I played with Purge. We dual queued or whatever.
God, you should have told me. I didn't
And,
realize.
Yeah, I mean, like that was just not a fun experience for me because I was trying to, and then Purge is trying to teach me how to support, and I already suck at supporting, so it's like doubly bad, right? And there are these moments where I'm just walking around. Purge's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you walking somewhere?" And I just have no answer. I just don't know. I'm just walking somewhere for no reason. And that happened a lot, you know. And I remember in my games where I'm playing with people that are lower MMR than me, and I remember watching them and being like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, where are you walking? Like, you have like full mana, full health, and you're just walking back to the fountain for no reason. Like, what are you doing?" And that I had like so many of those moments in those games, and we lost like I don't remember how many in a row or something like that. It was awful. And I remember that's probably and I can commiserate with that guy because I think that's probably how he feels. Except he has no idea that he's doing it incorrectly. I knew.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really weird because I remember when we were on Zephyr and I was telling like Kevin the biggest thing to do in getting better is just you should always be able to have like an immediate response as to why you're doing what you're doing. I just like talk it out, you know, in your head constantly. And if you can't give like clear justification that isn't super defensive, then it's probably wrong, right? But I think a lot of people they start off playing support and you buy like 2 wards, you place those wards, then you lose focus for like 2 or 3 minute stretches of the game, and then you're underfarmed and you die a lot. It's like they don't realize like how much efficiency matters on the support. Like I remember I watched one of your games, Kevin, like back in like Korea versus I think I watched a replay of you playing like Jakiro about like a month or 2 ago, and I just saw like the difference in how much like time you were saving, like things that would take you like 30 seconds, like walking around for like to check a rune or something like that, even like the basic stuff, and you start calculating time, and by the 10-minute mark you save like 2 or 3 minutes just by being like slightly more efficient. That's insane. Just adding 2 or 3 minutes to your game.
Or not missing a pull, or you know, things like that. Not blocking a camp, zoning properly, all that little stuff. Like I point this out a lot recently, and it happened once with you, Hotbid, as well. But I told you to TP to a lane so we could smoke and go for a gank. And by the time we get to a gank possibility, the carry had just finished farming that camp and that was now moving away. And because we were like 5 seconds too inefficient, we lost our kill opportunity.
Yeah.
Things like that
Like,
massively impact the game. It's really big.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that, but hey, what can you do?
Technically, we don't want them to.
Are we gonna talk about non-Dota stuff now? I'm ready to talk about non-Dota stuff. How long has this podcast been going on?
No idea.
All right, have we hit the quota of Dota stuff that we have to talk
Yo,
about?
like, do we have any more Dota stuff? Do you have anything else to talk about in Dota right now?
I mean, it's been so long since we made a video, but I feel like we covered a lot. I mean, there's no reason to hash over.
We could talk about the patch. What do you think the patch is going to be? But I mean, that's dumb, right?
All right, I have some. We could almost turn this into a game. We could say like, look at the top most picked and banned heroes, and how heavily do you think they will be nerfed? Does that sound interesting to anybody?
I think. Okay, I mean, like.
I'm gonna go on Dota2.com and look at the hero list.
I'm gonna look up the top 10. Okay, Tusk is number 1 in picks. Or in
Super
games.
getting nerfed.
Super nerfed? Where do you think they're gonna nerf him?
To the point where he's unplayable.
No. But like, what aspects about him? Any guesses?
I think that the ice shard should not last as long. The range definitely shouldn't be, and the snowball range initiation shouldn't be as long.
I was gonna say ice shard range reduce.
Ridiculous.
I mean, ice shards last for 7 fucking seconds.
You see that game where they had Tusk, Winter Wyvern, and Dazzle, and literally no one died ever.
Yeah, that's just silly. All right.
That was
next hero, Queen of Pain, number 2.
Not nerfed.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
That guy. I don't even think that hero has a great win rate, right?
She is negative 46%. Tusk is at 51.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I think Quap's gonna be untouched.
I think Quap's like fine.
All right, this one I'm very curious what you guys think. Winter Wyvern.
Nerfed.
Definitely nerfed. That hero is ridiculous.
Like, not to maybe unplayability, but I don't know. Cold Embrace is fucking insane.
That ability that he has that heals.
Yeah, Cold Embrace. That's insane.
Yeah.
That spell's absurd.
That one where like someone's doomed and you can just cast it on them and then like it just negates like the full duration. Yeah, they're healing through it, right? So basically, you cast that on the guy that's doomed, and he instantly doesn't die to doom, right? Unless the guy is an Ags or something. Literally just
49.8% win rate on Winter
No,
Wyvern.
but he definitely needs a nerf.
I think he'll only get like a slight to moderate one, personally.
Did you see that Did you see that GIF of him sieging a tower?
Yeah, that is not relevant to the discussion of balance. But, I mean,
It was really funny though, right?
yeah, it was definitely cool.
I think he's getting. I think it's a moderate nerf.
I could see reducing the heal that it does on Cold Embrace. Maybe that might be
the
balance.
percentage.
Yeah, reduce the percentage heal.
They could make it a straight like a straight heal, right? Not a percentage heal. Doesn't that help? Because
it would make it
percentage heal's
stronger.
like-
No, it would make it stronger early game and worse late game, which isn't necessarily something you want to do for the hero. It'd probably be better just to reduce the percentage, because then you don't mess up the power curve of the hero. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because otherwise you're changing the hero in a power curve way, whereas the percentage is going to keep it exactly the same as it is currently, but make it worse no matter what. At all stages.
How many like how big of a change do you think this patch will be relative to like the really gigantic change of like 6.84?
I think it's going to be pretty huge.
I kind of think so too. The game's I think the game's in a good place balance wise, but like something
I think
needs to change big.
I would be disappointed if it didn't have really big changes.
Yeah, I think so too. It's been so moderate.
From a mid-player perspective, I can see why it would be really fun for supports and offlaners, but just from like a mid-player perspective, this patch was not the most fun to play.
Why do you say that? What's the issue about it?
I mean,
Like, 5 people mid constantly.
yeah, every lane that I go to, I instantly know it's going to be a dual lane, which is just it's not even that fun to play against.
Do you feel like that's a adjustment of player skill and watching the pro meta?
I don't. I think it is, but I think that the meta is geared towards you being able to do that, because like the true carry is almost mid. So
no, come on, Blitz. Like if I played against you, like if I was on a team that was playing against someone that's 7K, I would insta lock Lich, and I would sacrifice mid every fucking
that's
time
what
I
happened.
could.
It's like
I'd sacrifice mid, I'd stack a camp for my Shadow Fiend. Sacrifice mid, stack a camp for my Shadow Fiend repeatedly until you could not farm. That's just like everyone should play like that against you. I don't understand how they don't.
Wait.
Why would anyone let a 7K player just have a one-on-one?
Yeah, what is the solution? Do you nerf experience comeback? That way, if you spend a lot of time in a dueling mid, that it's hard to get your experience caught up.
I think that's just a function of Blitz's experience, because he's playing from a perspective of someone that's so much higher than the people that he's playing with often. Not a problem with the mid in general.
It's so boring though. It's like every game. Here's what happens. Okay, here's my solo queue experience on my main account. All right, I go to the mid lane. I'm like, sweet, I'm one-on-one against the lane. Their lane is better, whatever. I'll make up for it. And then I see like a Winter Wyvern popping Arctic Burn halfway across the lane, and I know I'm just fucked. Or I see a Bane on like the other side of my cliff, and I can't enter the mid lane, and he's just right-clicking me. And this one Bane didn't even level Brain Sap. He just leveled fucking Sleep and had 8 clarities.
Are you serious? That's actually
kind
kind of cool.
He didn't even get Enfeeble. He just got Sleep and just like kept sleeping, walking away. Like he'd periodically, they wouldn't even threaten me. His life was to ruin mine, and it worked. Is the stupidest fucking part.
That sounds like something I would really enjoy doing. Just sleeping you, claritying, and running away.
Like how is that
repeatedly?
Like how is that fun for that guy?
It's fun for me if I knew you were raging about it. Like if that guy was listening to this podcast and is listening to you flame about it right now, he's like, my purpose in life is complete.
It's like 16-second cooldown lasts for like 4, so he just like walks in, sleeps, and then the sleep ends. He right clicks me twice, clarities, like chills until it's back up on cooldown. Like what the fuck kind of game is that? Like how is that?
That's how I shut down a 7K player. Once this podcast goes out, every single player that's listened to this and plays against you is going to do that. So,
yeah, man, you never tell them your full weaknesses. Come on.
Come on.
All right, next hero, Dazzle, 53% win rate.
Big nerf.
Grave is purgeable. Is it going to be purgeable?
No,
like
that'd be way too bad. No, that's
got
to be something.
Grave and Weave have to be nerfed. The fact that Weave also gives vision is pretty insane. I don't know. I think Grave and Weave have to change.
Okay. Shadow Fiend, 56% win rate. 5th most picked.
Yeah, probably a nerf.
I feel like he's going to get nerfed pretty big.
I think so too.
Maybe
it's scary.
It's kind of watch, honestly.
His high ground is really strong right now, but if they change the metagame in a way where, like, the way that you play the game, aka Roche, and go high ground changes, then maybe he doesn't need a super big nerf, but...
That's not the biggest issue with the hero, though. It's just that it scales so fast. It's almost like you're playing like a more mid-game oriented alchemist or something. Because you can't really fall behind. You almost always trade evenly with the mid, and then you get ahead through jungle. Because there's no hero that's faster at clearing jungle stacks than him. Like, nothing beats triple raise. Costs 75 mana a raise, and it deals that much damage.
They can make raise cost 100, like they nerfed Storm Spirit
Oh
the
no,
same way.
that's way too much.
I mean, I thought that was too much for Storm, but Ice Frog went ahead and did it.
I feel like the ball lightning is more...
Don't you think Ice Frog bounces in a way where he's just like, we're gonna rotate the heroes that are like popular, not we want to make it actually balanced? Because like I feel like he's just like, he's probably just like, oh, we've seen enough Storm, okay, he's not gonna get picked ever again. All right, you know, like, don't you think he might do that to SF?
He should do that for the interest of making sure that the public continues to enjoy the game. Because if the same hero is popular for too long, it just...
Yeah, I've seen enough fucking SF, dude. I am tired of watching people raise down waves and then stack. Like,
it's the same every patch.
Like,
there was Troll and Sniper, which was obnoxious. We played against fucking Storm, and I had to pick Line in every fucking solo queue game just in case some asshole picked Storm last pick.
No, Disruptor was the real hero, by the way.
I'm not seeing him here on the most played. Oh,
literally nothing is worse than the Sniper Troll, though.
Yeah,
I don't think anything's worse than that patch. That patch was like the Sniper Troll, and then like with the where they just sit high ground and like
Sniper Troll Jug. That was the
like they just like wait it out, you know, like sit high ground. Just
I thought Jug was the most no-brain hero in that patch. You just get like a Mask of Madness and right-click people.
And you ulti people from like 400 range at the start. Yeah. Alright, next hero, Dark Seer, 47%. We'll do a couple more of these.
Probably not too big of a nerf, if any.
Gyrocopter, 47. Unless you have something to say.
Gyro is
good.
Gyro's a pretty huge nerf.
I mean that.
Really?
Did you guys read the fake patch notes?
No, I don't know if I want to hear the details.
I knew it was fake by the gyro note.
What was the gyro note?
Because the guy said that battery assault is now a channeled spell that just kept going if you
No. He said it wasn't a channel, it was a toggle. Like,
oh yeah, it was
just
a
kept
toggle.
Going, and you couldn't right click people though.
Yeah,
whatever.
You couldn't right click people, but the rocket barrage would just go forever if you had like mana. And I was just like, this is like ridiculous buff. Like, what? There's no way that this is real. And that's how I thought it was fake.
I think Cooldown and Rocket Brush should both get nerfed.
Yeah, maybe Cooldown is a little... His rotations are always so strong. Okay.
Rocket Brush is insane.
Well, I'll pick out a couple of heroes that have really high percentages. Ember Spirit's at about 48, so I don't know if he needs to be nerfed.
They're gonna change... They should probably change the way that Cleave works.
With Battle Fury? Yeah. I would agree, because he does hard counter a couple of heroes a little bit too hard.
He hard counters Meepo, right?
Yeah, Meepo, Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I would change about him, is the Cleave interaction. That's it.
Okay, I like that. What about Huskar? I'm not seeing him on the top heroes, but he hasn't really been super picked until recently. What would you change about Huskar?
I think he's fine.
Yeah. He went from being like a super cheese pick to now like for like a week or so, every team would ban him second phase.
I laughed so hard at that. I don't know why. The deadpan. I think he's fine.
What's wrong with Huskar, dude? He just dies.
He just hard counters too many heroes.
Don't you think like if they nerf Grave and like some of the other stuff that he's not as strong?
Yes, I think Dazzle's actually the issue in that combo.
Really?
Because like
yeah.
If like he jumps every time I watch pro games, and this is just my experience, is like there's always gonna be some fucking random team fight where they misjudge whether they can kill the Huskar or not, and the guy gets graved, and then he just kills 4 people during grave.
Yeah, you can't kill. I mean, how often do you see Huskar picked independently of Dazzle? Very rarely, if ever, right? I think if they nerf Dazzle enough, then Huskar won't be that big of an issue. In pub games, it will always kind of be a problem at the higher levels. just because he almost renders some heroes completely useless, right? Like it makes Zeus and like I guess Lena deals with it better because of the Ags, but there's some just like pure nuke heavy mid or carry players that just can't even play that hero because you get Huskar.
He's really good against Gyro, right?
Yeah, I mean it's an instant win against Gyro. I think Vega played against Nip and they had picked Gyro on the side of like Vega, and they actually had to switch roles and make their Gyro a support because Nip last pick Huskar them. Like that's how bad it was.
Yeah. All right. Last hero we'll talk about. Let's choose Slardar. 53% win rate.
Minor nerf.
Really?
Yeah, very minor.
What do they nerf? Do they nerf his ultimate, or do they nerf
Crush
Southern
cooldown.
Crush? That's what I was thinking too. Maybe an
Just
extra
like
second.
2 seconds is enough, dude.
Yeah.
Second or 2 extra. It makes it way different.
Maybe the vision of
Amp damage.
amp should get reduced.
Make it like track.
Yeah, I don't actually like spells that give you just the ability to have like raw vision. I always thought that was pretty silly about Bounty Hunter.
Isn't he good because you can take Roche with him like relatively early?
That's a good point as well. Yeah.
All parts of that hero were pretty insane. His toolkit's pretty great.
It's pretty amazing
You know what,
to think when he was bad.
People like I've seen like in when I played solo queue, like people would level the sprint first. They'd get there, be able to place the ward really early, and then sometimes in the rune fight, people would just underestimate how fast he moves, and then he would just right click someone down. And,
yeah, those days are long gone. Everybody kind of knows. He's definitely one of the more popular pub heroes, I think. I discovered that he was really strong, I think, the patch before when people were picking Storm a lot, just because it was nice to have a hero that was very mobile and had stuns and minus armor. It's like everything that beats Storm in a lot of ways. It's kind of nice. All right, so I think we talked about those heroes a lot enough. Maybe we can do this next time a patch is coming up. So probably the next time we make a podcast. Did you guys get my joke? Anyone?
I got it. I got it.
I got it.
Thanks,
I got
guys.
it. We do podcasts once a month. I'd be happy with it if we did it once a month, guys.
This is
I would
honestly
like to do more than that, but
it's just because I had the defense like right after.
Yeah.
And I had to cast.
In sleep.
We wanted to do it after the major, but
you
I
guys
had a really busy
look,
schedule.
You guys have your public outlets. This is my only shot. Okay. I have no way of talking to the public except through this and my Ask.fm. So I really need this more than you guys. So I hope you respect it in the future.
What about your OkCupid?
I don't update that anymore. I've given up. I'm all out of ideas. So I'm just it's just this and my Ask.fm. That's it.
Oh, before we transition, top 3 for Summit predictions.
What teams are they?
Let's do that.
OG, Mineski, VP, Vici, eHome, Liquid, DC, EG.
What the? There's so many teams.
Yeah.
God, can you write those down?
Yeah, I'll type them out to you. OG.
I mean, I'll just link it here. Here, look, just go here.
Okay. Hotbid, you're up first.
Okay. Oh, I mean, do I make? I'm gonna go with a little weird predictions because I want to be bold. No one's gonna remember this if I'm wrong anyway. So I'm gonna say OG, Liquid,
So bold.
and Digital Chaos.
Yeah, I don't.
Why are you laughing?
All
Why are
right.
you laughing?
My
I think people are gonna remember
Why are
that
you
one.
laughing?
That's for sure.
Why are you laughing? Don't underestimate his carry.
I did. Sorry, my bad.
Don't underestimate his carry, bro. Why are you laughing, dude?
It's just funny that
1437.
you
1437, I believe.
that you place them over EG, eHome, Vici.
You sound like someone that's underestimating his carry.
All right.
Now.
All right, Kevin.
I would love to see. I think the two teams I would love to see win are VP and DC, but I think VP has a chance. DC probably not. I think teams most likely to win, I would say top 3. I want to say OG, EG, and one Chinese team, maybe Vici, I would say. But maybe Team Liquid can do it as well. Liquid's playing eHome. Yeah. Oh, Digital Chaos plays EG in the first round. That sucks.
That might
No,
actually
this
be
is
one
a-
of the
this is-
better
this is a-
opportunities for them.
This is a great matchup. Let me just say.
Oh
Like, Aui's gonna get his revenge. Their EG is
my
gonna
god,
be
there's so much
dunk
drama.
slammed,
I just
dunk
realized.
slammed into the abyss of suffering. It's gonna be amazing.
Dude, if Liquid beats eHome and EG beat DC, it's gonna be
It's
a
not-
really funny second round.
Unfortunately, that won't happen because DC's gonna beat EG. So
That's true.
what's gonna happen is DC's gonna beat EG. Liquid's gonna lose to eHome, and then they'll play in the loser bracket. That would be exciting too.
And
right?
then whoever's left or right, there's so many
Yeah.
memes.
There's just so many. It would be amazing. I mean, we're gonna see it happen. I think they clearly seeded this bracket. Like they did not randomize this bracket, right? Let's be serious. Can we be honest here?
Yeah.
What are the chances they legitimately randomized it to this? DC and EG play each other in the first round because they know they think DC's gonna lose to whoever, so they gotta get him in first, right?
Yeah.
There's no other chance for EG to play DC. They're like, we gotta make this happen. Aoi against the team, right? That he kicked them. And then when they win, they're gonna play against Kuroki. Like, how could this? This is definitely rigged, right? 100% it's rigged. But do we care that it's rigged? No. I think I applaud the summit. Good job. Right? Do you guys care that it's rigged? I don't care.
No, I don't care. As long, I mean, the only negative is if they're doing it in a biased way, such as somebody pays them off to get it better. But I don't think anyone would do that.
I don't think the seeding is even incorrect. I think like you can justify the seeding to make it match up like this. Like,
I think the seeding is almost entirely correct.
Yeah. Is DC stronger than Mineski? You could argue that it's not, but like, you know,
definitely not. Mineski
either
did
way
okay
it works.
at TI. Yeah, I think it's absolutely fine. What about the talent at the summit? It seems like they have way more people that they flew in.
Not way more people. It's like,
Really?
I think
Are you
it's
sure?
Less, way less than the major.
Okay, how many people did they have at the last summit? They had Syndrin? Any other EU people?
I remember they had a lot of people. They had I don't remember.
All right, who cares? Let's move on to our.
I mean, you guys aren't talent there, so who cares, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna visit? I'm gonna visit on Saturday and Sunday.
I physically can't visit, so.
I don't know if I'm allowed.
Okay. Well, you should
I
just
don't
go.
I don't want to get demoned, you know.
I see what you mean. I mean, ODPixel's there, and he left Moonduck, so maybe you
Yeah.
have to leave to get invited. They're like, oh, you left Moonduck, and then they were like, okay, come on over. Do you think that's what happened?
Maybe I could lie to them and say I left Moonduck, and then they would let me show up.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll
Maybe
see.
that'll be the.
Do you guys want me to talk about that?
No.
But OD.
Okay.
Oh. No. I don't
Did
think
you
it's
guys
necessary.
see Zyori's post in the Reddit thread?
I did.
Yeah, I thought basically.
I think it's kind of
said
lame
everything.
that you guys lost. What's it called? The DotaPit.
DotaPit, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really lame because I thought like, what's his face? Mott and Pimp Munkle really built that up.
Yeah, they kind of did. It's just unfortunate.
So I think you guys got screwed out of that. That sucks. Those fucking grubby join Dota guys, dirty backstabbers.
Who could
Am I
do
right?
That? No, it comes on.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it comes
what
down to
happened,
the
dude.
organizations. They-
How could you do that? It was entirely your fault. I heard.
It
I
comes.
heard you were like,
Did you backstab me, Will?
Dude, I didn't.
You son of a bitch!
I didn't even know. Not gonna lie, I really didn't even know we were casting it
Blitz
until
was
like.
like,
I
Blitz was
mean-
like, fuck Pimp Muckle. They're awful at doing DotaPit. DotaPit was like, oh, Blitz, if you think that's the case, then I think Join Dota should have it. And Blitz was like, definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
the only reason you didn't know about it is because you don't actually cast anything until like the finals comes up, because you're too busy
Yeah,
playing CS:GO,
I legitimately had no idea that I was.
stealing our contract. Go ahead, you can
I-
say it.
I had no idea that was.
For me, just like have air quotes in the speech that I was saying.
You know what's funny
It's like
though?
the largest air quotes I've ever done.
Despite
right
the fact that I play so much CS:GO, I still feel like I play like the most Dota out of most of the commentators. I still
I
play
don't- I
like
don't
six
bel- I
games,
do not believe-
six
Probably
to eight
true.
games a day.
I mean, there's at least like 5 commentators that don't solo queue that often. I mean, I think they all play Dota,
I
but
play
now.
solo
See
queue.
playing all the time though.
I play solo queue all the time.
yeah, I don't play it all the time. Sometimes I play it a lot. But I play at
I
least
almost
like 1 or 2 games a day, at least.
I've been party queuing more recently, but I almost exclusively solo queue if I can help it.
It's a good way to get better. It's fun too.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
Let's transition, guys.
To what you've all been waiting for yourself.
The this like like when Purge puts in the little timestamps, because I think people really like those.
God, I fucking hate making those. It takes like 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to do it. I mean, you did it once, so now you're gonna have to do it again. So, but like, people like that. They just click right past the Dota stuff. I think that's what happens.
I could actually probably look that up, but I'm also too lazy to do that. So.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, because I just want to believe that. So I don't want you to dispel my.
All right. What's your first non-Dota topic?
I would like to talk about Star Wars, because it's coming out in a week. So
I'm
it's
also
time.
interested.
And I'm not even a Star Wars fan.
You're not?
So I
Are
wanna-
you serious?
I'm like, not really. I mean, like, I have a very limited understanding of Star Wars.
Okay.
I have read a lot of the extended universe books.
You've read the books? How are you not a fan of Star Wars if you've fucking read the extended universe books?
I don't think it's possible to be a fan of Star Wars and read the extended universe books, because they're not very good. So,
Okay.
I mean, like, I've read the Twilight books. I'm not a fan of Twilight. You know?
Can't forget. Well,
I
you know what?
just read a lot of random shit.
Normally I'd really flame you about this, but I watched 50 Shades of Grey the other night. We're going through like Netflix or some shit, and there was just like literally nothing we wanted to watch, and there it was. It
50
was.
Shades of Grey recedes feminism and, like, women's rights the same way William Hung retards me in Blitz. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same analogy. It's like, I see that dude on TV, anytime there's a clip of him, I'm like, fuck. I bet every feminist in the world sees 50 Shades of Grey and they're just like, what the fuck is this? And why are people watching this? You know?
Yeah, it was just really
That's
boring.
exactly the same. They're just like, there's no such thing as consent in this movie. It perverses everything. It's just like, I mean, I've read that book too. And it does not succeed as a porno or as entertainment. In both aspects, it is not good.
I mean, I don't know what the major differences of the book are, but the movie felt like by the time the first movie ended, I was like, this just feels like some like 16-year-old girl wrote this.
Yeah.
And it was like
The contract terms aren't even legal.
You want to
You can't
know
even have contract terms like that.
fun thing about that movie? Ritsu once got mad at me and challenged me to a one-on-one because we were friends and I was like flaming him, and I wouldn't play him. And eventually he told me he would play me on any terms. So I told him if he lost to me in a best of 3 1v1 SF, he would have to watch 50 Shades of Grey with me, and he agreed. And
Use it as a
lost.
punishment.
Yeah, and he lost. So
Did he
now,
watch it?
no, at some point he has to though, and he keeps trying to like get out of it.
I think he watched it, and that's what made him like tilt and like expose DC replay strats.
Yeah, right on. That
It's like
movie
this-
is terrible though.
This movie has
Yeah, it was
forced
pretty
me to
bad.
become.
I
immoral.
only watched it for the Ellie Goulding song, and even then, it was tough.
Well,
Your
okay.
dick was-
Can you guys talk about? Oh my. Can you guys talk about your history as a Star Wars fan?
Okay. Do you
When
want to
did
go?
you watch
Do you have a
Star Wars
lot, Will?
first?
Because I have a lot. Do you want to go first?
I have almost none.
Okay,
My
you go-
family
you go
grew up
first.
poor.
I have a medium, so it'll be Will and then me and then you, because you're probably clearly the biggest Star Wars fan among
Yeah.
us. So go ahead. Will.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. I mean, I think the first movie I ever saw was like Independence Day, and I thought that was pretty baller. But
That has
I
nothing to
did-
do with Star Wars.
yeah, I'm trying to think, but I'm trying to think about my movie history.
Have you okay? Let me ask you. Have you watched all the Star Wars movies?
No,
Oh my god.
What?
Which ones haven't you seen?
the latter ones.
Are you like the
It's like,
old
I haven't
ones
seen-
technically?
Yeah,
or...
I've seen none of the originals.
What
Wait, I've
the
seen
fuck?
the
You
original,
serious?
like the first original, but I haven't seen the sequels.
All right. What's the last thing you remember happening in that movie?
I think
Is
like
it Luke?
Darth Vader and what's his name, like fight or some shit in front of a
That's-
ship or something. I don't know.
That's Obi-Wan.
Isn't that the second
Yeah.
one?
No, it's the first one. He's talking about Darth Vader fighting Obi-Wan.
Oh, fighting Obi-Wan, not Luke.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Obi-Wan,
the
okay.
that was the
So
last
that's
thing.
the
I
first
remember.
movie.
Yeah.
That's the first movie.
I think
So you
that's
don't know anything that even happens in the second and third movie.
Man.
Nope.
Or, sorry, the fifth
I know
and sixth.
like the Luke, I'm your father shit and
See-
stuff. So I didn't feel like I had to watch it after that.
Do you know that the rebels beat the Empire with the help of little furry animals?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's these little monkey, these little dwarf monkeys called Ewoks, and they look like little furry dwarves. Like they're like little Tyrion Lannisters. Like not really, but like they help them out, and they're like,
That sounds so implausible, but sure.
They're in the forest, and they like use like
I'm gonna
logs
Google
and
this.
shit.
What is it? How do you spell it?
They crush an
Ewok.
AT-AT
EWOK.
logs. Okay, let me just say, and they use little bows and arrows, and they defeat stormtroopers with them.
These guys look like the weakest shits I've ever seen.
I'm not even fucking with you. Like, this is actually what happened in the movie.
I can't. Man, you've probably seen so many memes that you don't understand even, like, and images and things.
Do you
So
see?
much.
Like, so they capture. I'll summarize it for you. They capture the cast of like Leia and like those guys, right? And they're about to like execute them, and then they somehow believe that 3PO is their god. I'm not like this happens in the movie. Like they start worshiping 3PO, and then they get on their side and they fuck up all the stormtroopers, like an entire like platoon of stormtroopers and like with weapons.
Booby
These
traps.
little dudes.
Let's get real.
Yeah, these little dudes home alone them in the jungle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
They
accurate.
home alone them, and they win. They help take down the shield generator, and they destroy the Death Star. Like seriously, these guys. Because everyone right now should be Googling Ewok and just seeing the pictures that come up. So that actually happens in the movie.
Huh.
There's a lot of other stuff between then and that. Like you missed the entire scene where they're in the desert, like with Jabba and like all that stuff. I can't believe you
That
haven't
seems
seen
cool.
it. Like,
Yeah, I'm
Come
really
on.
surprised.
I
You should watch
saw like the Family Guy version of it.
okay, great.
So basically, when you watch like the Phantom Menace and stuff, it was like all interesting and a surprise to you. You're like, oh, I have no idea where the story's gonna go.
You remember my cousin? You met my cousin Andy. I watched it with my cousin Andy, and I thought Star Wars, like the first one, was pretty cool. Like,
What'd you think of the midichlorians?
what? I don't remember that.
Okay, never mind. You're not a fan.
All right, can I go now?
What do you think of Sand? No, I'm next, Purge.
Fuck. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I watched the first 3 movies, but I wasn't like a big fan of them. I just like I thought they were good. They weren't like super great or anything. And then I got really excited for episode 1, and I remember I forget when did it come out? 2001 or something.
It wasn't. The first one. Yeah, it was still like a long time.
So I like I was like with my friends, and like we all like were super hyped for it, and we got in and like say what you will about that episode 1, like how it was bad and like there were plot holes and shit. But when I watched it for the first time, I was very hyped, like throughout the entire movie. Like at the end of the movie, I thought it was a great movie. Okay, might have been me being young, it might have been like just the hype overwhelming me, but I thought it was great. Second viewing, I was like, okay, this movie's not great, you know. But the first time I watched it, it was a cinematic, like amazing cinematic experience. I thought the Duel of the Fates was a crazy good song, and then we all know the history. Like second movie was bad, and the third movie was okay. And I just forgot about Star Wars for a while after reading all the extended edition novels. Which, by the way, if you want to, anyone wants to read those, I will tell you which ones are good. You can read anything by Timothy Zahn. He wrote 5 of them. I think the first one's called Heir to the Empire, and then you can read all 5 of those books. Those are really good. You can also read a book called Vector Prime. That's by R.A. Salvatore, and that book is okay too. But a lot of them are not very good. There's like literally dozens of them. There's like 40 books you can read. So I saved you a lot of time. I went through that for all you guys, so you can read those like 7 or 8 books, and those are the only good ones. But this movie that's coming out, I watched the trailer, and I watched people react to the trailer, and I think it's going to be great. What do you think, Blitz? Are you excited to watch the new one?
Not really.
Fuck, man.
I mean, I'm getting hyped because everybody else is getting hyped.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah.
The trailer is amazing, though. Look at all the good actors in it.
I'm more excited for Civil War.
Ugh.
Okay, all right, Purge. It's your turn now. Let's build.
All right. So my history of Star Wars goes back to when I was a very small child, because both of my parents grew up watching Star Wars. It was like a part of their life as well. So I remember one of my earliest memories. I used to watch Star Wars at my they would play the movie for me, and I would build an X-wing out of Tinker toys. So I'd make the X or whatever, and I would fly it around like a spaceship. That was one of my first experiences of imagination. And well, it's not an imagination, it's feeding me imagination, but you know what I mean. So I watched all the Star Wars movies growing up. I really liked Return of the Jedi. My dad bought us like lightsaber toys back then. You know, like the ones that extend and you can have sword fights with each other. And my dad really he used to do fencing in college, so he really liked sword fighting. So we would always bond over that a little bit. And all of my brothers, my brother and my sister, they both all like Star Wars. So watched all the movies. I played a shitload of Star Wars video games, like any other gamer. I played like pod racing. I played like Rogue Squadron. I played a shitload of Rogue Squadron on N64 and played more Star Wars games later. I played KOTOR. I played KOTOR 2. I played so many Star Wars games because there's just like a million Star Wars games. And then when the new movies came out, I was in high school. No, I'm sorry. The first two movies, I was really young. I was in like grade school? I was in like middle school. But when the third one came out, I was in high school, and my friends and I were like really into Star Wars. And so we ended up going to the movie premiere. My mom even made me a Jedi costume, which I fucking wore. And I'm like slightly embarrassed about it now because like I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not like a holy fuck Star Wars is the best thing ever. I just really like Star Wars. That's basically it, and it's partially nostalgia. But
Do you sorry, I need
Go
to
ahead.
ask you this question. Do you think that you're a big Star Wars fan because you are a white?
Are you saying that I can relate to the race of Chewbacca
Yeah, like, you can be
because
like-
white
you can-
people are
no.
hairy? Is that what you're talking about?
No. You can look at Luke Skywalker and you can be like, I could be Luke
Um,
Skywalker. Whereas me and Blitz, our poor Asian friends, are represented in these movies very poorly. I remember there's one Y-wing pilot that goes, "There's too many of them," and he dies. That's the only Asian character I remember from the original trilogy. If you don't count the extremely racist Trade Federation guys. So it's like there's like that guy, he gets shot down. There's too many of them. He gets shot down, that guy. And then the Trade Federation racist dudes. That's it. That's all for us, right? I can't think of any others. Can you think of any others?
I feel like
Exactly.
no. There's one of the Naboo guys. I don't know if he may or may not have
No.
been Asian.
With Naboo guys.
Of
The
What-
captain was black.
No, there was a guy that had dark hair, and like a goatee mustache. I don't know if he was Asian or not.
Let me just say that Qui-Gon Jinn is an Asian name. Who's playing him? Liam Neeson's.
But we're
could've
talking
put an Asian dude in there.
we're talking about an entirely different culture. You can't make those same claims.
Okay, but why is he named Qui-Gon Jinn? That is a
Um,
fucking Asian name. That is straight out of
I don't
China.
know. Well, you seem to continuously.
Yeah, they could have named him. They could have named him Steve.
I
What is
know.
this?
I totally get that Asians are not represented very well in media, but I don't think the reason that I related to Star Wars is because Luke Skywalker was white. No. I
But
just like the
Could be
universe.
Like I dress
and
up like Luke Skywalker because I can be Luke Skywalker, but me and poor Blitz, you know. So
Dude, I'm gonna be one
You
of
guys-
the side characters from Tokyo
you
Drift.
guys can also be Jedi's. No, but what
could
do
we though?
Yeah, you really can.
I
Well,
think
if
there
only
was
if you have
an Asian
metachlorians,
woman.
so.
There was an Asian woman who was a Jedi in the second prequel.
Probably there was like fuckloads of Jedi in some of those movies, so I wouldn't be too surprised. It was actually pretty crazy going to the third premiere because we were waiting in line and there was a ton of people also dressed up, but they were all like doing like sword fighting continuously, and some of them were even like miming force powers and shit. It was really awkward. We didn't go that. We didn't go. We like sword fought a little bit, but like we didn't like force throw each other and shit. That was fucking weird. So
Okay.
saw the movie. The movie was. It was pretty. It was exciting to watch. Like yeah, it was like the same thing you said. When you're in like a crowd full of people that really care about it, it's so cool to like see that together. I feel it just
Yeah,
hypes you
yeah,
up a lot more. So if you're gonna
mean-
see
I
it,
mean,
Will
like-
watch it with friends that want to see it. It'll
I
make
think I'm
more
gonna watch
exciting.
it with like I'm gonna watch it with Milk and them.
I wish that I was able to watch the original one on opening night with everyone that has not seen special effects like that, because it probably literally just blew people away.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember, because I think that same thing happened with Jurassic Park. If you watch Jurassic Park in the theater when it first came out, because I don't think I was. When did it come out? I don't think it was old enough to
I was
see
like
that,
under
but,
10, so you were probably.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. Let me see when did that come out.
It was in the 90s, I think, like 95 or something.
Yeah, 1993. Okay, so I was like,
God,
I was
6.
I think I was like 9 or something. But like, I think that movie also, if you watched it in a theater and it was the first time you saw special effects like that, I imagine people in the crowd would just like freak out.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time you saw computer effects, right? So that would be insane too. But do you think that this Star Wars is going to break all the records? It'll break Avatar's record.
What's Avatar's record?
I think it's like $2 billion or $2.4 billion or something. Really
I mean,
high.
the hype is right? It's been enough time. People feel like this one's not going to suck ass.
It's got a multicultural cast. Right?
Yeah.
Still no Asians, though.
It's got a female, it's got a black male, and who's the third character? White male?
Yeah.
Alright.
Still no Asians. Where the Asians at?
Hotbid, you just gotta give it time, man. You can't just like fix race relations with one Star Wars movie. You gotta
you can.
gotta ease it in slow. They threw in a black dude. You can't just expect them to also a black dude and a female. Okay,
I
in
want
major
an
characters.
I want an Asian dude. All right.
Okay.
And he needs to be a Jedi. I think that's what we need right here.
There's
Blitz,
gonna be
what do
one. There's gonna be one, and we're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm indifferent, dude. There's plenty of Asians in Dota scene. We're good. We're well represented here.
Dude, I want it in Star Wars, and not just like as like a Y-wing pilot that says there's too many of them. I want that.
There's too many. You don't want him to be the pessimist.
Are you sure?
He dies.
That was definitely the fat guy that said that, wasn't it? Oh no, maybe you are right.
Definitely not.
Okay.
But he takes out a Star Destroyer.
I feel like you're internalizing this a lot.
He runs into like the bridge of a Star Destroyer and it blows it up.
I remember he's an A-wing. Yeah, God, I fucking love A-wing.
No, that was a different guy.
I forgot to mention I have a bunch of Lego Star Wars stuff too. Fucking love Star Wars, man.
Okay, but you didn't read any of the books, so I'm like technically I'm a bigger fan than you.
I don't know, man. I've consumed way more Star Wars media. What does make you a true fan? I'm not sure. I really like the universe. That's basically it.
Do you know the son and daughter of the Leia and Han had twins?
I did know that they had twins because my brother read the books and mentioned a bit, but I don't know what their names are. If that's what you're asking.
They're named Jason and Jaina Solo.
That's right.
Yep.
I really don't like when people.
Spoiler alert! Like spoiler alert! One of them turns to the dark side.
Well, somebody has to continue the story, right?
So, yeah, I mean, like, it's not a bad story. It's quite an interesting one, you know. Luke has a kid too, so I'm glad that they don't follow the books because like the books are a little weird. So I'm glad they're going their own way.
Great. All right, I think we talked enough about Star Wars. Topic number 2 is I lost my tab. There it is.
Okay.
Perfect segue.
Blitz. Depression. Okay. So this is not a funny subject. I laughed, but it's just because your transition was so abrupt. This is a question that I get a lot of Ask FM people like that are sad, and they ask me a lot of questions about it. So I thought it would be interesting to discuss it with you guys. I don't know. Blitz gets that too, right? Blitz, you get a lot of questions about this.
It's probably my number one question.
Well, so what do they ask you?
Oftentimes it's just how do you actually actively do stuff while depressed, or how do you stop being depressed?
Okay, so how can you tell if you're depressed? I think that's like the number. Like we should talk about that first. Like, I don't think I've ever been depressed. Purge, have you been depressed before?
No, nothing past just average down trends, stuff like that.
I've felt sad a lot, but I don't think I was ever to a point of being depressed. Blitz, I think you said you have been in the past.
Yeah. I don't know if it was just like extreme sadness or me actually being depressed. But yeah, I've been sad in the past. I'm pretty bummed out.
What does it feel like?
I guess the part that sucks about it the most is that I know that it's not that big of a deal, but it feels like I can't really do much about it. It feels like I'm not able to do my day-to-day activities.
You can't, like everything is difficult.
Yeah, I feel demotivated. I feel like I don't really want to do anything to change my situation. It's probably the worst part. Kind of feels like sleep paralysis. It's like
you sleep a lot.
Yeah, it's like you know that nothing's wrong with
14 hours, and then like you don't want to get up. Need to like get a cup of water or whatever.
I mean, that's me normally though. I sleep a shit ton.
All right, but okay. You're not helping the situation by confusing it with your general laziness. But it is okay. So I've read a decent amount about it. I've talked to people that have been depressed, and I think it's something that you can't really cure, right? Like chronic depression. It's something that you have to kind of just manage throughout your life. And it sounds like it's something that's really awful, and that people don't understand it because they feel like just be happy, you know, like people's just like try and get over it, be happy, look outside, look at the sunshine. And I imagine those comments are quite frustrating to people that are depressed because it's not something they really want or something they could just get over mentally. Do drugs help? Have you been on any antidepressants?
Nope. I don't know. My family's not like that. I think it's like an Asian thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an Asian thing because Asian people, their whole philosophy on mental problems is just deal with it, like suck it up and deal with it. That's how my parents always like dealt with problems. If I ever had any emotional things, they'd be like, just deal with it. Which sounds a little crass and like insensitive, but I feel like it does weed out a lot of kids just being overly dramatic or emo. But I imagine if the kid is actually depressed, then you're doing irreparable harm to his psyche. So that might not be the best way to deal with it. But Purge, do you have any experiences with friends that have been depressed or anything?
No, not really. I think some of that just comes down to how emotionally strong somebody is and whether or not they need to rely on other people. And if they get those, like, if you have like a parent that just says suck it up, then some people can't handle that. But if you're fairly strong-willed or you're able to handle that, then it probably makes you a stronger person. So it's like it's a very hard balance to stride. And I think about that as well for parenting styles. Like someday when I might have children, like what is the best balance? Do you truly go like fully force them to figure shit out on themselves, or do you go like stereotypical like fully supportive white parent style or something? Not that it has to be just about race, but you guys just constantly make it about two Asians versus the white guy over here, so I have to like.
No, Blitz is a transitional, and I'm pretty not even Asian. Like I'm.
You're transition. I'm a transitional.
I'm quite whitewashed, honestly. Like I can speak Chinese, but not even that fluently. So, honestly, like, we're not good. Me and Blitz are not good representatives.
Well, which way do you guys think is better? Do you guys agree with that? If the style that your parents used on you in that way?
I mean,
suck it up.
I think that there was a very big danger of me just like losing it at some point when I was a kid. But I mean, I think I turned out okay. But there were definitely moments where I was very like unhappy when I was a child.
For what
when
reason?
I was in high school, just like socially, not happy with like where I was, like which friends I had, how confident I was, that kind of thing. Because I never really focused on any of that when I was growing up. It was all school. It was never any social kind of development. So I was never happy socially until like actually quite recently, like a couple of years ago even. So I mean that's obviously not ideal, but you know it could be way worse. So I don't I'm not gonna complain about it. You know, my parents were very supportive in almost every aspect other than that. So I can't say which is better. Blitz, what do you think?
I don't know. In some ways, I feel like I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing some stuff, but there are some issues in my life that I wish I could have, that I feel like I repressed more than I should have when I was growing up. That I probably should have like talked to more people about. And
Do you yeah, go ahead.
I mean, because I didn't, I feel like it actually did sort of screw me up for a bit. Like I think I've gotten a lot better since in the past like 3 years about like being open and honest with people and like letting people into my life and stuff. But definitely, I feel like for my emotional health and stuff like that, it would have been better if I had been raised at least like with a little bit more TLC. But I mean, my mom is a single mom. You know, she did the best she could, so I don't really fault her for these things.
Do you guys think that there's like a spectrum of mental health issues? It's not just like you're either fine or you're like mentally messed up.
Yeah, of course.
So like, everyone has like a scale of depression, right? It's not like there's a cutoff of like someone that's just depressed or not, right?
Yeah.
So you could be very close to the line, right? Theoretically, you could be like, if like 1 to 10 in a scale of like 1 to 10, where 10 is like very depressed and you're like suicidal, and like 1 is like you're extremely happy and like not, and like depression is diagnosed at like a 7 or something, right?
Yeah.
You could be like a 6.5 and just not know it, right?
Yeah. Depends what you're used to and what you feel like is normal. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have no reference point in understanding or recognizing how sad my sad is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you guys ever feel that way? Like,
Well,
I feel
doesn't-
sad right now, but I don't know if this is like legit. Other people would be sad in the same situation, or whether I'm just being a little overly dramatic. Like, I can't tell.
So you're saying that I also, maybe I'm just depressed. Maybe it wasn't the poor feeding that you guys did at the major. Maybe I was just actually going through a rough time, and it wasn't until
Well, I
I
think-
was fed irregularly
I mean-
that I could realize.
Let me just say, I think like depression is like probably you're probably not actually depressed because it's not a chronic issue where you can't do things. You know.
Feed me badly
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
We'll see if it's chronic, man.
I mean, like, you got up and you did your job. Like, I don't think people that are depressed are able to do that if they're actually suffering from it, right?
No, yeah, I'm just kidding. I don't want anybody listening to be like, think that I was serious about
Purge
that.
is really insensitive.
I am, but not
But,
in this case.
And I'm going to say that, like, it is not, I mean, like, I don't think you guys, I've never dated anyone that's depressed. I'm sure you guys, I don't know if you guys have or have not, but it is not easy, I imagine.
Yeah.
It is not easy to, like, deal with that. Or
It's-
even, like, your family members or, like, your siblings or whatever. You have to, like, figure out how to, it's like, you know, you want to be supportive, but it's also kind of, like, tough.
It
to just
depends.
be around
It depends on the
someone.
person. I dated a girl in college, I think, that had depression. But it wasn't a very long relationship, so I don't have a lot of like feedback about what happened. But like for most people, if you care about the person enough, you'll be there for them. And well, you should always be there for your girlfriend or your significant other. If you're not gonna plan to do that, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with them. So that's pretty straightforward. I don't think that one's very hard to figure out. But it's just the right thing to do, and I always kind of abide myself by doing that. So it never really felt difficult for me.
What is the best thing to do if you wanna not help, but like make it or support someone that has that, if they're your friend or whatever? What are you supposed to do? Does anyone know?
Be there for them and tell them that way they know that they can talk to somebody that they need to. I think being there for
Let's-
somebody is the least overreaching.
Blitz, if you were depressed, what would you want us to do to help?
I don't know. I think. See, I don't know if it's just general insecurities or if I was actually depressed and stuff, but I feel like for me, what really helped me fix my like mind in life was when I would fuck up and stuff. Like people would just let me know that it was like okay, like they like understood and they were gonna like still be there for me and stuff. You know, like it's like a really hard thing. I think when you think you're alone in the world, and a lot of people just don't want to deal with the stress of like having you in their life, right?
Mhm.
But when there's just like a few people in their life that are like willing to like sit by and like wait on standby, essentially, stuff like that really helps. Like I think people, it's like hard to see the logic in those situations. Like when I act out and stuff like that, I know that like I'm being I'm being irrational and I'm being an idiot when like I test people or like I push them more than I should. Like I fully understand that, but a lot of people used to just like ignore me or just like give up on me, and I didn't really have like a lot of friends. But once I started meeting people that were just like, hey, it's it's okay, like it's all good. Then eventually you start correcting your behavior, getting better.
I have a question slightly off topic. As a competitive person, and I know you're very try hard. For example, like your mentality about Dota, for example, is the same as mine, and that you like almost always want to play very very serious. You mentioned your failures and people saying that it was okay. Do you get a lot of sadness or depression from performing badly at something, for example, or?
Yeah, I think part of that, I don't know if he wants me to reveal this, but I remember like before I went to like Korea and stuff like that, it was like Ben wrote me like a note or something. He's like, I know that you like didn't really grow up with the dad and stuff, and he's like, so I know like you're really insecure because I mean, you met my mom. She's like supportive, but she's not like the mom that's gonna be like you're the best or anything. She's
Did
just
Ben offer to be your dad?
no, shut up.
That's amazing.
You're ruining this moment right now. Anyways, so I was like, he's just like saying like, when I first went to Korea, I was like really scared about going and stuff, and he was just like, he's like, I know you don't really get a lot of praise, but he's like, I know you can do it. And he's like, me and Grace are rooting for you. He's like, your mom might not be the best at showing it, but she really cares about how you do it stuff. It was like a really thoughtful,
Wow.
like that's how I knew like Ben was like, I was like completely
Ben Wu.
okay. Yeah, it was like probably one of the nicest things anybody's ever, and like
He
one
made
of the
you
most
an
genuine
honorary-
things.
Yeah. He made you an honorary Merlini.
Yeah,
You
so
were
it's
the
like
first.
after that, like no matter what Ben did, like I like if anybody ever BMs him, I'm just like fuck you for life. But yeah, I mean stuff like that like helps, right? Because when I underperform, I mean, you know me, like I get more frustrated in myself than anybody when I'm like playing badly or some
Yeah,
shit.
me too.
Like
I'm the same way.
I get like genuinely like bothered by myself. I'm like, how was I that fucking stupid? But I think that's part of what drives you to be better than everybody.
Let me just say, as someone that's watched every single Zephyr game in the first couple months of you guys playing, I remember waking up and watching all of them, and curse you for establishing. You guys were like winning in the beginning, right? So I thought it was always gonna be like that. I was like, this is great. I'm like on the ground level of a team that's gonna be winning all the time, and then things didn't work out as well. But I saw it was kind of taking a toll on you guys.
I
I
mean,
could tell.
for
Just
me,
communicating.
it might have been, I don't know. I felt the most responsible about all of it because I was trying to fix like the everything situation, and it wasn't working out, and I didn't know what was going wrong, and I didn't know if I was just like bad or some shit like that. I don't know.
I mean, you lived in a situation. It was just like not an ideal living situation.
Yeah. No, I think I can sum it up. It's just we stopped winning because the other team's roster swapped a lot, and they roster swapped to solve our problems, and we didn't have that luxury. And after that, then me and Steven just started lacking as supports, and because we were lacking as supports, then we tried to adjust our playstyle in other ways that would allow us to not maybe have to rely on our supports as much, and then that forced us to start doing stupid things, and then we were just kind of in a rut at that point, and we couldn't get out of it. That's basically what happened. And then with all that comes team drama, such as like we're losing all the time now. It sucks we're losing. Why aren't people improving? And then people lose some motivation. They don't practice as much, and little things. There's like tons of complicated things like that happen in almost every team. Like I'm really glad that I was in that experience just for the fact that I now know that pretty much every team goes through these issues, and it gives me insight into that kind of stuff. Like, and you can't. In most cases, you just can't fault teams for that kind of stuff. It just happens.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's basically what happened with Zephyr, and that's what happens with almost every team. Once you start losing, you lose confidence in each other and try to make shit work, but it just doesn't always happen. It's too hard to recover a team in most cases.
We got off topic, but do we have anything else to say about depression?
I thought we were still on Star Wars. I was talking about Star Wars that whole time.
All right.
No,
Well.
I think for the people that have like general depression, it's something that like I was always told that if you have like mental health problems or whatever, that it's people are gonna like treat you like you're fucking crazy, and so people are like really afraid to go get diagnosed or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But-
think mental health has a very bad reputation in the United States.
Yeah.
It's treated very differently than physical problems.
But I mean, I would
So-
definitely advise people to actually go and seek active treatment. If you're simply melancholy, or or you just like don't know where to start in life, or you don't, you're a bit aimless, then the easiest way to kind of break out of that funk is to just set really easily doable goals and just like keep like achieving them. That was how like I got through whenever I have a funk. I just like tell myself, you can do this one thing today and you'll be set. And then I was okay.
Do you think that video games especially are home to a lot of people that feel aimless or depressed because they just can channel it into something that lets them escape, like Dota or whatever.
I mean, that's what it was for me. Like I was like super unsocial. Like I didn't have any friends growing up. I mean, Kevin's been in my place. I live in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like I wasn't gonna have any friends and stuff, and I didn't have anybody growing up in my life. Grace was like much more popular, and my mom, you know, I didn't have a dad growing up, and my mom was always at work, so it was video games. You know, you just play. Eventually, you get some people online that'll tolerate you because you're fun to play with, and that's how it usually goes for me, anyways. I'm sure there are very socially adjusted people, you know, that like to play video games, but no, it was pretty awkward. So it was a good facet for me to grow up.
And then everyone that is like that gets to 7.5K or whatever you're at.
Yeah,
right?
that's how it always works. I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily seek out gaming as a crutch. I think it just kind of happens to be one of their interests, and they realize that it's a nice crutch. I think there's a lot of ways that people can crutch on things like that, though. There's plenty of games at your disposal. There's like phone apps. There's drinking. There's a lot of other things that people can do to get away from their problems if they really want to.
I'm just glad I chose Dota and not like heroin or some shit.
I'm also glad.
I thought you were gonna say a different league. I thought you were gonna say like League or like StarCraft or something, but you were like heroin. Like, okay, yeah. I mean, like anything is better than heroin, probably, right? Like,
no one's gonna fly you to Germany to do heroin just because you're good at it, you know?
yeah.
Imagine if I could get a job just doing heroin.
I don't think that's a good job, dude. I think heroin's like the worst. I think that's actually the worst. It's like I read about what it's like to take heroin, and it sounds awful. Like it's like slowly, like the dependence slowly creeps up on you because you think you're in control until you're not, all of a sudden.
Damn.
It's different than like the other kind of drugs, because it just makes you feel like okay, right?
That's also what I read.
There's no like crazy high or like a crash afterwards. You just kind of feel nicer than normal. You feel like better, right? And then you slowly up the dose until you can't actually feel anything unless you're doing it, and then you just lose it. That sounds like incredibly scary, and I would like never want anyone to like even try. But that's off topic, and I only read about that because I watched The Wire.
We're out of topics, guys. I don't know what you're waiting.
Dude, I know we're done, dude. This is like, how long has it been? It's been a while, dude. It was a long podcast.
The only thing we didn't talk about was
This shit was like
terrorists.
2 hours. Yeah, we
Dude,
did not talk about terrorists.
I gotta go to sleep.
You guys want to talk about how to handle domestic terrorism in the next 3 hours?
This is not a good.
Whatever the
this is not a
solution
good
is.
way to end. We're trivializing this. This is not good.
Yeah, I gotta go to sleep. It's 9 a.m., bros.
Okay.
All right, dude.
All right, that's the
Thank
end.
you for getting up early for us, Blitz.
You know what? I'm actually gonna stay up and solo queue.
God, you're a fiend.
Good luck winning MMR when you're sleep deprived. That's not gonna work.
It'll be fine.
All right, we are just peeking over 6 gigabytes, so I think we're plenty good.
GG.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed. Couple of heads up about the podcast. Someday I'm gonna work on it, get it on iTunes, etc. I did make a SoundCloud, but apparently you have to pay for like a premium license or something to host the audio files there. So if you guys just want to rip the audio straight from the YouTube video, then that's probably your best bet at this point, unfortunately, until I get it on iTunes and stuff. So I think that's all it regarding the podcast. If you guys want to... No, I won't go there. Never mind. I was going to say if you want to donate me money to buy more suits, I mean, you can, but it's going too far.
No.
Better yet, donate Will money to buy him some new suits.
Blitz does not need money. Let's be real.
I have
You-
enough.
You know how many
suits,
fucking
guys.
chests he sold?
All right, can
TI.
somebody buy him an ironing board and an iron, or maybe like hire somebody every event to iron his clothes? That would make me happy. That's all I
Not,
need.
because he needs to learn. He can't always
Yeah,
depend on
that's-
other people to do it.
Yeah, he really can, actually. He's made it this far. He's going to go all the way. I see it happening.
Oh God.
All right,
Set
that's it.
for life.
He's set for life. He's got a girlfriend. He's got a mom. He's got a sister. It's over. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Will, are you gonna say it too?
Bye.
Okay, there we go.